What if the most frustrating part of losing fat was actually a good sign? I'm talking about that moment when the scales stop. You're still grinding, you're still eating right, but the number won't move and you're starting to believe this whole thing was a waste of time. You feel like quitting, but that plateau you're hitting isn't a wall, it's a signal. It's your body telling you that you've succeeded at the first phase of fat loss and that you've just unlocked the next level. The only reason 99% of guys quit here is because they don't know the rules of next level. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to read this phase so you don't quit and actually keep losing fat. Hi, my name is Boris Kish. I'm IBB license coach, professional nutritionist, and a super heavyweight bodybuilding competitor in the over 100 kilo category, which is over 220 pounds on stage. I'm 6'4" tall, which is 193 centimeters. Welcome to my channel. Now let's divide this in 5 parts, 5 chapters, 5 rules, 5 problems, actually the solutions for everything, as I always give you, so that you know properly how to unlock yourself for every next level that is coming, that you see where you are possibly making the mistake that I was also doing, sometimes I'm even now, and to avoid it. Now, first problem is, you're doing everything right? And this is where the most people quit. Your diet is right, your training is right, your cardio is right, and you simply feel that, how can I say, fat is not going, the belly is not going down anymore. The main problem with this part is, as I said, that you have to understand that fat loss is actually a marathon. It's not a sprint. You cannot lose fat as quick as you would like. I will tell you, of course, how to manage even that. But you have to understand that, gaining this fat took you a lot of time. Also, removing this fat is also going to take a lot of, not as much time, but some, how can I tell you, way more less. But you have to understand, for example, this probably doesn't consider you, but let's say a competitive bodybuilder, when he's in off season, he still has a visible six-pack, right? It's not mass like it was maybe 20, 30 years ago. Even then, smart bodybuilders didn't do that, and they give themselves at least 16 to 20 weeks time until they're stage ready, right? So, you cannot say to yourself, I want to be ready for the vacation, summer vacation, when I go on the beach. In 1-2 months, I have only a few kilograms and I will starve now, right? And be ready. That's not going to happen. Give yourself a realistic time. The second problem that I would like to say is unrealistic expectations from the social media, from the YouTube, from the Instagram, TikTok, etc. Because over there you see influencers that are not natural, that are taking GLP-1, at least tier on who knows what, and then they're showing their transformations and the transformations of their clients that are natural, right, that are happening overnight. And then you compare yourself with them, it's complete bullshit. You should be really proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. This is unrealistic expectation. Always compare yourself. Always, how can I say, compete with yourself. The other thing that can also happen is that, you go to the gym, right? You are progressing, you are satisfied with your progress, and then you see some person come and he's like super lean and jacked and with visible veins all over, right? His six-pack, or some chick that looks fantastic, and then you look at yourself and you say, fuck, what the hell am I even doing? It doesn't even look like I'm working out at all. And this is also unrealistic. That person, you don't know what is that person doing, you don't know, maybe this person has a amazing genetic, amazing, metabolism. Maybe this is a typical mesomorph. Mesomorph can drink 200 grams of shitty protein per day, just walk next to the gym, actually, and look amazing, like fitness model that is jacked. So don't compare yourself with them. Compare yourself always with yourself, And of course, I would like to inform you that I created 3 completely free training splits course that you can get. Just click my coaching newsletter below and I'll send them straight to your email. Number 3 is you're looking at the wrong metrics, That's mostly the scale, because you have to understand if the cortisol, the stress hormone is up. I mean, it can happen that you do 3 days completely the same in a row, and on the third day you have maybe 2 kilograms more. That is water. If you didn't sleep that good, if somebody pissed you off, maybe somebody died, maybe you had some injury, it can really be demotivating, So always look at the mirror. That can also be a trick. That's the next part, but look at your measurements, look at your strength, and, please just avoid the scale no matter what, And I would like to ask you, if you like this content, if you see value for this, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more, real, raw, unfiltered and uncut videos like this. Number 4 is psychology. The most important part, I would say, before the part 5, that is the end of this video. So you have to understand there is anorexia and bigorexia, right? Anorexia is no matter how much fat you lose, you always look fat to yourself. Bigorexia is something that bodybuilders, for example, like me, not to that extreme extent, but every bodybuilder has that to a certain extent. Also when he's cutting, when he's putting size, that he thinks that always too small, he looks himself in the mirror. So mirror can also be, how can I say, a tricky part, but you have to understand that if you're falling into this trap, that this can also be a, how can I say, delusion. Do you understand? I mean, this means no matter how much you put muscles or you lose, fat, you always look bad to yourself. Always, just measure the progress every week, every month, and you have to be like really, really realistic. There you will see, the numbers won't lie, and you have to be realistic to yourself. I mean, if you lost few kilograms from the last month, then no matter how you look to yourself, you have progressed. If you can see that the numbers on the belt, are going decreasing, you are definitely making, progress. It's the most important thing is that you know how to, win the battle with yourself. And of course, number 5 is when the crisis come, right? And this is actually the thumbnail that you saw when you clicked my video, because you have to understand, I mean, I made it downstairs because the point of this video is fat losing, right? Pardon, what did I wanted to say? Yeah. You're making it, like this. I made it like this because, you have to understand when really thinking how to present this in the easiest possible way without using the mat. You have to understand, the progress is not going like this when you're losing fat, okay? There is a bump. That bump, when you're going down, that bump actually means that you are going to the next level. Then is when I say, the devil is going to attack you, all the negative forces, and then all of these factors that I just said are coming, right? And you think I didn't make any progress. You feel like before you started the diet, but you have to understand when this happens, you're here, not here. And then if you overcome this, just squeeze it hard, push through it. In the next 1-2 days it goes off, and then the progress continues. Then after a while, again, it bumps up, but you have to understand the second bump is way lower than the first bump, and especially way lower than when you started, right? And this is how it's going to go. It's not linear. You just have to understand every bump is a strong signal from the divine, from the universe, no matter what you believe in, that you are actually progressing and that you're actually leveling up. And I really want to hear you. Please write in the comments what is killing you the most in this process. What do you see as your biggest, how can I say, enemy? A scale, mirror, your head, what's the biggest difficulty for you, and how are you able to overcome this? Please write in the comment section. You might actually help somebody, maybe even me. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, feel free to write them in the comments if you have some opinion about this topic. And of course, if you want to learn how to come from 20% of body fat to 10% of body fat, even lower if you want, in the quickest, healthiest possible way, click this video and I'll see you there.